findest du nur dein Grab.
Just to inject a little bit of my creative opinion into this, I think this explosion should have killed you had you not gotten out of the way, just as a surprise to throw you off. Another fun thing for fans of spaceship shooters who don't like their indoor obstacles, well, you're not going to get that in this game. There is quite a bit of avoiding obstacles and walls once you get to some of these indoor areas, like this area. It's just fun, like the ceilings, and then the walls and everything's going up and down, and then there's elevators, and there's lots of tiny guys coming not from just in front of you, but behind you as well. So you really got to mix it up. Like when I'm using the ship that uses 2 guns at once, you can take a spread shot and put it up, and then a spread shot on the bottom. You can shoot in 2 directions at once. Switching between top and bottom gives you tactical advantage with a lot of these different weapons, so it's vital that you figure out what best kind of suits your needs for the moment, or what you kind of like to play with the most, you know, weapon-wise, and then make your best strategy for each section of this game. Assuming that you have died countless times and revisited all of these sections, you will probably want to figure out the best path. For those of you wondering how I capture this footage in its glorious 60 frames per second, I am playing this with backwards compatibility on the PlayStation 3. And while I am not usually a fan of backwards compatibility or emulation with games, this was the most convenient way to capture it at a resolution of 480i or above, because my capture card, the Elgato Game Capture HD, does not support resolutions below that, and using an HDMI upscaler tends to stretch the image out in a way that I can't fix, and I don't like messing with that stuff. I figure if a game was built to be played in 4:3 aspect ratio, that's the way it should stay. So until I do find a better method of capturing, this is how I will continue to capture PlayStation 1 games. Just an FYI. But I think this game still looks fantastic, even though it's being emulated on PlayStation 3 hardware. I think that this does do the visuals justice, and that there isn't anything ultimately detracted from the quality you're going to get from a playthrough with this game. Because I understand that some games do look worse, but this one in particular, not so much. Oh, hey, and then there's this. Look what I can do, everybody. I can make the whole fucking base explode. And then some more angry Germans show up to crash the party, and I will never know what they're saying because I will not learn how to speak German.
B-Gruppe ist gelandet. F-Gruppe zur Unterstützung.
Oh yeah, did I forget to mention that things also get very hectic in these later levels? I don't think I've stressed that enough, that things get really hectic on screen. I just don't think that there's enough exploding things and flashing lights, robots, cannon fodder, and dropships that lay down mines that explode and throw shrapnel at you to really throw you off. Oh, and barrels that fly up and try to kill you. But don't worry, you can just shoot those down before they even take off. Also, do not forget to bring a homing missile with you, because you will have to shoot that truck in the background in order to gain access to a secret weapon. And if you don't have one with you, then you have missed your opportunity. It's also very safe to assume that this boss has had no artistic influence from the Eva units of Neon Genesis Evangelion. I don't think so at all. I cannot see the resemblance, and I don't know what anybody has ever complained about. Get out of here, PlayStation Network error. You're ruining my immersion. Towards the end of the game, things start to change up a little bit, and you're suddenly given this mission where you have to shoot down this rocket by flying up alongside it and destroying its thrusters. The thrusters can actually kill you. And the thrusters are at a little bit of a weird downward angle to the right, so you have to get a gun that can shoot down that far, or you basically have to park right up against it. Or like a lot of professional players do, is they'll just use the manipulator hand to just like straight up beat it to death, which I find that a little bit interesting, but I'm not that gutsy to actually attempt a strategy like that. And then while you're doing that, you have some turrets and you have some ships flying around, and you know, things are a little distracting with those guys, but they do provide you with some free weapons, so that's not too bad either. But once you destroy both of those thrusters, you get to see a cool little sequence of the level boss firing out of the end of the ship. And you would have what I would like to call an atmospheric battle. I know, it's not funny, just, I'll stop. But anyways, you beat this guy, and then things start to happen, which I'm not going to elaborate on too much about, because Einhänder does have a bit of a storyline to it, and I don't want to spoil what would be a decent twist about the game, so I'm going to go ahead and leave it at that for the time being. But I would like to show you some of this robot's cosmic arching death beam that spans across the entire screen and will kill you nearly every time if you are not ready for it. The arching death beam does not have a warning signal to let you know that it's being fired. And then you get these missiles and these shields that deflect all of your shots back at them. This is a combination of you just trying to make it through these shields so you can do damage to the boss. Einhänder is a game that has never had a sequel because I guess Square doesn't know what to do with it. And with the story they had kind of done with the first game, I wouldn't know where to go with it either, other than making an HD remaster. I feel as if though they don't want to just make an HD remaster of all their games, they would like to rather reinvent them if possible. But I would like to think that in the distant, bleak future of a war-torn Christmas between robots and humans, that Square might come back and release a sequel to Einhänder. But all I can really do for just now is hope. Einhänder is without a doubt one of the best games of all time, probably one of the best games of the PlayStation 1 era, and if not, one of my favorite games of all time that I hold dear to my heart, and I think everybody should play Einhänder, especially if you are a fan of spaceship shooters. You should not let Einhänder go untouched. The only thing I can actually fault this game about is taking out the additional feature that lets you have infinite continues in the Japanese version, but hey, that's a small thing. This game is tremendously good for its technical prowess, its audio design, its artwork, and all of the mechs in the game. Everything about this game is just pleasing to look at and to hear. It is just overall a well-designed game. And with that being said, it's not going to run you up a whole lot of money if you find a used copy on eBay. You might pay anywhere from $30 to $60 with the case and artwork if you really want to collect the whole thing, but a new copy will put a hole in your wallet, that's for sure. But regardless of the price, I recommend that this be in your PlayStation 1 collection. That is Einhänder for the PlayStation 1. And with that being said, I'm Tofu the Survivor. This has been Tofu Game Time, and thank you for watching. Happy holidays.